Good morning. Once again, Kenny Jacobs from Bloomington, Illinois. I want to do a quick video this morning about some more developments with our U.S. military. And I'm going to start by reading straight out of an article on InfoWars by Alex Jones. And this is just another article that goes to show you that the U.S. and the world is about to permanently change and be unrecognizable to what we're used to. The title of this article is U.S. Army Builds a Fake City in Virginia to Practice Military Operations. I'm going to just read bits and pieces of this article, and then I'm going to post this article, the link to this article, in my description box so you can check it out for yourself. It says the U.S. Army has built a 300-acre fake city complete with a sports stadium, a bank, a school, and an underground subway in order to train for unspecified future combat scenarios. And it goes on to say, the increasing demonization of domestic political groups as extremists has prompted numerous scenarios where commentators have suggested that U.S. Army and National Guard personnel could be needed to quell civil unrest. In 2012, an academic study about the future use of the military as a peacekeeping force within the United States, written by a retired Army colonel, depicted a shocking scenario in which the U.S. Army is used to restore order to a town that has been seized by Tea Party insurrectionists. And I want to point out that whenever there's been gatherings of people in the Tea Party, they've always been very, very peaceful. Do some research on it and look and see what kind of problems there have been at Tea Party gatherings. I don't think you're going to find too many. The study dovetailed with the leaked U.S. Army manual, which revealed plans for the military to carry out civil disturbance operations during which troops would be used domestically to quell riots, confiscate firearms, and even kill Americans on U.S. soil during mass civil unrest. The manual describes how prisoners will be processed through temporary internment camps on U.S. soil and be re-educated into developing an appreciation for U.S. policies. And he shall cause all who, small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark. And anybody that wouldn't accept that mark and worship the beast will be killed. Sound familiar? That's where we're heading. Fort Hood soldiers are also being taught by their superiors that Christians, Tea Party supporters, and anti-abortion activists represent a radical terror threat, mirroring rhetoric backed by the Department of Homeland Security, which frames liberty lovers as domestic extremists. Wow, the police state is almost here, and anybody that believes that we should have freedom here in America will be detained eventually. And I'm going to keep sounding this alarm because people are still asleep. People refuse to believe that this stuff is true. Well, I'm going to keep pointing out that it is true while there's still time. I want to make another quick little observation on something else that's happening today. And this has also been something that's been increasing quite a bit lately. And the media is doing a fairly decent job of covering it. But one thing I would say is that we never have any warning, which goes to show you that eventually one of these things is going to hit the earth. And there's not going to be any warning about it. What I'm referring to is another huge asteroid the size of 3 football fields is passing by Earth close tonight, and they gave a website, Space something, where you can actually watch it tonight. But again, another close call with a big asteroid. And we've actually been having quite a few meteorites hit the Earth lately, a lot of fireballs being seen in the sky, and this is, I think, about the third or fourth, what they're calling a fairly close passing of a big asteroid in just the last year or two. Which reminds me that, Revelation chapter 6 and 8 talk about this very thing happening. I'm going to read real quickly from Revelation chapter 6, verse 12 and 14, and it says, And I beheld, when he had opened the sixth seal, there was a great earthquake, and obviously the earthquakes have been really on the increase lately. We had a fairly good sized one, upper fours in Georgia and South Carolina, and then an aftershock again yesterday. But it says, and there was a great earthquake, and the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And I'm going to stop there for a minute and remind everybody that the first of 4 blood moons is going to be on April 15th. It's also first of 4 blood moons. They all fall on Jewish feast days. Signs of change. Signs that Jesus is coming back soon. Verse 13, and the stars of heaven fell unto the earth, even as a fig tree casts her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the earth departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. Revelation chapter 8, verse 7. The first angel sounded, and there followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. And 1/3 of the trees were burned up, and all the green grass was burned up. And the second angel sounded, and as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea. And the 1/3 part of the sea became blood. And the 1/3 part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died. And the 1/3 part of the ships were destroyed. And the third angel sounded, and there fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon 1/3 part of the rivers, and upon the fountains of the rivers. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the 1/3 part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Another interesting thing is that word wormwood. We all remember the nuclear disaster at Chernobyl in Russia years back. It was really a bad meltdown of a nuclear power plant. Caused a lot of death and destruction. I'm not saying that was the wormwood, but from Revelation. But what's interesting is the name Chernobyl means wormwood. What are the odds of that? I always maintain nothing happens by chance. It's all part of the plan. When Chernobyl melted down and caused all that destruction, it was a type or an example of what's coming. And we're getting closer to those days. And when you read about burning mountains falling to the earth and stars falling out of the sky, as you can see, as we keep seeing these asteroids getting closer and closer to Earth, one of these days they're going to start hitting the Earth. You don't have to be here for that. There's a way out. Jesus died for you, to save you, and He wants to rescue you. I'm going to remind everybody of Luke chapter 21, verse 36, and it says, watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all of these things that shall come to pass, and stand before the Son of Man. There may be some really dark days ahead, there may be some wars, there may be some persecutions the Christians are still here to face, but at some point, Jesus is going to say that's enough, and the church is out of here. Make sure you're ready. That day is drawing near. All the signs indicate it's coming back soon.